extremely proud to introduce you to the EGL demonstration site developed in collaboration with the Roman Energy and several partners of the Sscer Furies. This demonstration site integrates several technologies and methodologies developed by the Sscer Furies. The first one is the so-called grid awareness that is made possible by a distributed sensing made by phasor measurement units.
At Sscer we developed Synchrogar, a distributed grid management solution that combines high-speed time-synchronized measurement with our proprietary software platform. Are sent via public 4G network to our platform, where we process the data and we extract the state of the grid in EGL. We do this in real time and we do this every 20 milliseconds. The state of the grid in EGL means voltages, currents and power flow.
The second element refers to the possibility of forecasting at different time scales, ranging from day ahead to intraday, both loads and above all injections from stochastic renewables.
The more accurate we can forecast the PV and the power loads, the more efficient we can use the battery energy storage site. We are using advanced time series models and machine learning models to forecast the PV and the power loads. We use large amount of historical data to train these forecasting models in order to find out the mathematical patterns behind this data.
So the third element refers to control methodologies. In terms of control goals, there are two main elements that are considered in the demonstrator. The first one is to achieve the so-called day-ahead dispatchability. The second control objective is to compute free flexibility, specifically provided by the battery that you see on my back, and use this flexibility to provide services to the upstream network, the transmission grid, in the form of reactive power injections to control voltages, and also reserve in terms of active power that is used to control frequency. And in particular, in this test site, we are comparing and benchmarking two techniques. The first one relies on so-called optimal power flow methods with a centralized approach.
Every 24 hours, a dispatch plan is defined, which takes into account the forecast of loads and renewable-based generation. And in the real-time operation, the battery is controlled to compensate for mismatches between the prediction and the realization, enabling the fulfillment of the 24-hour dispatch plan that was defined beforehand. At the same time, the capacity that is not used for the dispatch is used for other ancillary services to the transmission system operator.
The second one relies on a decentralized control method that has been entirely developed in the context of the Sscer Furies, called Comelec. The benchmarking of these two control techniques allows us to analyze their benefits in terms of optimality and in terms of computational complexity.
What the Comelec system does is precisely that. It uses the results of monitoring with PMU infrastructure of the state of the grid and reacts to this state by modulating the power that's consumed by the electric vehicles and also the power that's generated by the solar panels in order to provide things like primary frequency support to the main grid, or also to provide additional capacity to a charging station. With the PMU infrastructure, we can monitor exactly what the building is doing, and with the Comelec real-time software, we can adjust in real time the power that's consumed by the EV, such that the total consumed power of the building and of the EV does not exceed the rating of the transformer when we subtract what the PVs will do.
The achievement of the control goals is done by satisfying the feasibility constraints of the local grid. What we do is to satisfy these constraints with either control frameworks that we are implementing. It's important to underline that this exercise of achieving day-ahead dispatch and provide ancillary services to the upstream grid takes into account the grid awareness, namely the fact that via a distributed sensing technology with the PMUs that are installed here, we are capable to constantly inform the controller of the state of the grid and then enforce the satisfaction of the feasibility constraints.
As a DSO, our interest in such a utility-scale battery energy storage system Besides, its contribution to voltage control, peak shaving, and congestion mitigation in the distribution grid is its capability to aggregate multiple service levels for other actors like TSO, balance responsible parties, or energy suppliers through a decentralized intelligence able to follow time-depending strategies. Indeed, investments in this kind of assets are not for the time being attributable to grid cost. We will then be interested in buying the service we need from private operators serving different parties.